Hello, I am here, it is me. It's been a little while. So, just to be clear, when I started the game, it was like this, and I don't remember it being like this when I left. So, I haven't played it since the last time I streamed, because I wanted to keep it fresh. Because I know there's loads of stuff that I know I'm never going to find. And that makes me sad, but we shall persevere. Just doing the usual bits and bobs. Slight delay, but that's fine. I know I'm all wrapped up in cords. Oh, what's going on? Oh dear. There we go. Right. Shall we just get started before I do something terrible by accident? Begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Hey, the balloons are still there.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Good. I'm glad Stanley's happy. That makes me happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions.
Yeah, you can work to me.
Call a meeting, or even say hi.
No weird questions, though.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid,
This guy's voice
Stanley
is so great.
found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So I was looking through Twitter the other day, and I follow the narrator from this game
All
on
of
Twitter.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes, there we go. Yeah,
No
I follow
matter
him.
how hard
Fuck on,
Stanley
stop
looked,
talking, you
he
bitch.
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter, and somebody had accused them of using a AI voice actor for him, And he was like, how dare you accuse me of being AI? I'm real. Squeeze me. Because it really made me laugh. Oh, what's this? Figurine Finders Committee meeting today. Meet in the meeting room. That's new. I'm not going to take the bucket of reassurance.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
He entered the door on his left. How can we find them? Bottom text. Small floating objects have appeared across this office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure their retrieval. There are many questions. There was no memo from management. How can you tell if you spotted one? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? I've found 2 so far. 416. We can do it. Good luck. There will be a reward for finding them all. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. I really want them now as well. I must have them. They will be mine. No.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Right, I found the one that's in the toilet. I severely doubt that you sound like the narrator.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I'm just going to keep pressing 8.
8.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. $2845.
What about 1, 2, 3, 4?
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I mean, I have been here. I think I've heard of Beginner's Guide. I've never played it. I know that the guy who made this game has got together with some female woman person who also makes video games, very strange video games, and they've gotten together to make their own game studio that makes strange video games.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Wouldn't fit under my belt. My belt's too tight. Gotta stop my trousers falling down.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
Well, none of that
This
tomfoolery.
question would not
Joke's
go
on you, I'm not even
unanswered
wearing a
for
belt.
long.
I'm going back up. Screw you.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind.
He's a maniac.
Stanley actually got back into the
maniac
elevator and went
on
back
the
up.
floor.
Silly me. Why did Stanley do that?
You don't want to see that
when he
stuff.
knew
You're
that
not going
it
to see
would
that
just
stuff.
lead
I don't have a
back to his
camera.
boss's
And
office.
he
Well,
dances
that's a
like
great
he's
question.
never
I just
danced
can't wait to
before.
find out.
It's fine, I'm sure your grandmother has seen lots of penises.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other,
That's my
weaving a rich
speciality.
tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I'm literally on the edge of my seat. So there.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
He's a genius, genius.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Nope.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Can you guess what's going to happen next? Can you? Can you guess? Ah, he's turned it off. Son of a bitch.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
This is all very amusing.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
I am a master of narrative. I've got all the narratives. Oh, I'm lost. I got lost in a corner. Right, I think I've this room is you should call me, no, don't call me Master Cracker. I don't like that.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Do you know what I'm gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do to you.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill.
No, my mum doesn't
understand. I simply don't want to let that
Twitch.
feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice?
My mother has zero
and
interest
slow?
in my hobbies.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get
Go on,
started.
put it all in my face.
But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you.
Isn't
You're
it
the
such?
one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you, which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you,
sound like
Stanley.
an IGN
I don't
reviewer.
know if you realize the impact you have on them. This
probably
is
gets
the
paid less
kind
than
of
them.
gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
I am amused.
Yes, here it is, just through this door.
There's something on that chair. I want to see what's on that chair. A conversation with Alexander the Great.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley.
Up again and down again.
Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Right, so I'm going to the stage. I'm famous. Everyone loves me. You don't want to do your work experience, you just want to play League all day. That's how I know that you are mentally deranged, because League of Legends is fucking shit. I don't understand why anybody plays that game. It's
All of
horrendous.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I will touch everything.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So I learned something recently that's really geeky, but I thought it was really cool. And that is that only one of these doors is actually real. I know that none of the doors are real, but only one of these doors is literally an actual door that you go through. It's this door, which is the real door. This door isn't real at all. It's actually a portal, like in the game Portal. It's using the same technology. It just teleports you instantly to somewhere else. This is just a parallax. It's not real. And a lot of the doors are like that in this game, apparently. A large room with lots of boxes. Alright, I think I know where that could be. Stairs, something to do with stairs. I think I know where that might be. Somewhere both red and blue.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I found you!
I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies.
Figlies, definitely
What name
Figlies.
better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Don't sit on it. I've got that stuck in my head now. It opens. Oh, that's sad. It's got such sad eyes. Where's the speaker? It sounds like it's above me, but I don't see it. Right? Left. Right? Left. Ahaha! Oh. Well, that was A damp squib. The beige pages. The digits.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
I hate it. Please make it go away.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
I love a good passageway. Going down.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible
Does anybody know any
secret did
secrets
this
that I
place
don't know?
hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
You have to clean your bathroom floor and toilet. Wow. Sucks to be you. Oh. The door's closed. Apparently there's a bunch like
their true nature revealed. Each
so
bore
many
the number
endings
of
to
an
this
employee
game.
in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Mm-hmm. Every time I do something, I feel like I should do something else. And isn't that just the agony of choice?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yes. Do I play any competitive games? Not currently. I do quite like Hell Let Loose, but until they release an update for that game, I'm not playing it because it's not at a standard that I'm enjoying playing at the moment. Also, it's not a fun game to watch, like people stream, unless you really like the game. I used to play Call of Duty Warzone, but I found it a bit too stressful after a little while. That literally made me jump. You never go beat crit. Go Secret Rangers. I mean, this is pretty glorious, to be fair. Funky.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Maybe. What the hell? What the? I'm blind. I can't even see which direction I'm facing. There we go.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Once and for all.
Now what?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber,
I need to turn the lights off in this room. I can't see the screen.
For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps worth knowing. Through the open door, Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation.
That one stone down there that's got no texture on it
was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, Stanley's happy. Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
There must be
Stanley
something.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh. What's this? Glitch. This balloon's in my way. Fuck off. Ah, screw it. Ow. I thought I'd found something. Input received. That's new.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered
No.
that this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all. Just as but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
It's
open door on his left.
Fan-Davidosi.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, what the fuck? Ah! Another statue.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Yeah. Ooh. What's through here? Where the hell am I?
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path.
What the hell?
It seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
You and me
It
are
was
bosom
all
buddies.
just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall
wish I
of
could jump.
surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Oh, that was another ending.
All
Just
of
so
his
far off the
co-workers
beaten
were
path.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Memo? Mr. Memo?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
No.
this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
The employee lounge is the best place in this game.
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. Wrong again, motherfucker.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Well, I was just so keen to get off the beaten path.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
The
I
temptation
realize
to
that
jump.
investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been...
What? Really?
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this,
Data
but
everywhere.
I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Just so far off the beaten path. To be 3, to be 1, to be 4, to be 5.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Now I feel hollow now that I've not got anything else to collect. What door did he tell me to go through? I forgot. I'm going to go through the blue one.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it
Ooh, I
worth
love me a
ruining
developer
the
texture.
entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what.
He's
Let me
pissed.
take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There
Go
we
on.
go. A third option.
Ooh.
This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Oh no. Do I take the real door, the wrong door, or the new door? Oh, decisions. He wants me to go that way. But the temptation is to not do anything he tells me to do. I can't decide. Someone flip a coin and then flip it again. Screw it. I'll do what he says and then you can... Oh, I know this. Oh, no.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now,
I know
tell
of
me about
this
your experience
already.
with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut.
I shouldn't have gone through this
I really
door.
couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from
Hey,
your
Harry
previous
Munn.
playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh, what the hell? Stanley is getting lost, and that is the whole point. Who the hell are these people? Right, where do we go? 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 Decisions.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again,
No.
honest answers, please.
No,
Hey, I
screw
nearly
you.
forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect.
Depends.
Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of
Look at that
endlessly
HD baby.
confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world
No, I
will
never did
really
play the
take
OG.
notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
I'm
Be sure
absolutely
to
not
keep
playing this
notes
for
on
4
your
hours.
experience.
Oh god, that's unbearable. Screw it, the baby dies.
You heartless bastard.
Yep, fuck the
Did
baby.
you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
Both.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try.
No, he's
I'm
a
out.
ghost baby.
I'm
Looks all
out.
invisible.
I'm done.
See-through.
It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable.
Yeah,
oh,
no.
hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
What are we going to play? What are we going to play? What are we going to play? What are we going to play?
Yes, this seems
I'm
like
excited,
it'll
I'm excited,
work.
I'm excited,
Let's
I'm
give it a
excited.
shot.
Oh shit!
Fascinating. What do you think
We're
this
in
game is
Firewatch.
about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental
Firewatch was a
depravity.
great game.
So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
What's that? Who firewatches the Firewatch? Yeah, Firewatch was a great game if you never played it. I weirdly got super into the story.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
No, story. It's not a bad game. It's a good game.
It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go.
Yeah, it was a good game. I want them to make more games. Do more games like that.
Thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Where are we going?
Hey, I think this will be just the thing.
Oh, where are we going?
Wonderful.
Are we in
See,
Rocket-
this is exactly what I had
Rocket
in
League?
mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
I'm absolutely going to do everything I can.
Okay,
to
so
get
what
lost.
exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
I'm too small. Oh, maybe not. What team am I on? Ooh. I can't jump still. Typical.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I
It's
worked
pretty
so
fun.
hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a
Yeah.
sportsologist, but if one book... Hold on. What are you doing?
Where the hell am I?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh, it's so quiet. Ooh. And now what the fuck do I do? I'm lost. I am a man without narrator. I do not know what to do with myself. And it's so... Oh, fallen off the edge. Now where the hell am I? I'm in a corridor. It's scary. This game is weird. It's like... It's every game at the same time. Although I was saying earlier on, this game actually does use some of the same technology they used to make Portal. A lot of the doors, even though they look like open doors, aren't real. They're actually like portals. It saves memory, apparently. Oh god, there's just so many choices. Oh, Jesus. If they jump scare me, I'm going to literally shit myself inside out. Nice to have some normal people in the chat. I mean, Harry is lovely. I wouldn't go as far to say that he's normal. It's nice to have other people in the chat who aren't just asking me weird sexual questions. That's... Where the fuck... What? What? What?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs
People
me.
ask weird questions.
Someone who will
in chat.
wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion.
Why
That's who I
people
am.
are like that.
That is what I mean to this world.
At least I ask you, you know,
yes, I'll be back.
when I
There's no
ask
other
questions
way.
in your chat,
Once this ends,
they're relevant
after it all comes to a close,
and interesting,
then
like,
I'll be
would you
back.
bum Mr. Bean?
The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Good times, good times. Oh, alright, back at the beginning. The balloons are gone. That's not what you said. You wouldn't bum Mr. Bean at the time. You said it'd feel wrong because he's too innocent. Oh. Yeah, well, I know that Homer Simpson shaves his shoulders because he sings a whole song about it. Shaving my shoulders, getting it all shaved off. I've fallen off the desk. I can't be bothered for all that business. Don't even shave my face. How to get outside? I must be able to get out here. Motherfucker. Why can't I get outside? What the hell? I must be able to. It's like there's an invisible wall. I am disappointed. Yeah, I know that you can have seen somebody else do it. I couldn't earlier because there was balloons in the way. But you can for sure get out that window. But why can't I? This game's racist. It's because I'm off-white, isn't it? It's because I'm beige. I don't know. I've been playing for, I mean, it's about 6 hours altogether. Hang on a minute. What the hell?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about
I love
them
the
since you
figglies.
nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I
never
love
went to the
nothing
memory
more
zone,
than
did
to
I?
revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
I love me a Figley, though. Now I remember when Stanley found the collectibles. Nobody can tell you to do anything. You can only do things you choose to do. And if you don't do them, then it's your own failings, not mine. Whee!
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
So this is vaguely horrific. Am I the only one that thinks that? It's like some sort of scene from hell. Shave my shoulders. I'm getting it all shaved off. Ooh.
And here
I'm
was
collecting
the
them all
second
again.
Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to
And I have
surprise
a
me in all
poo.
sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
See, that's the professional way to have a shit, is you stand on the cistern, then squat down. That's how Elon Musk shits.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini-Stan? Can you remember?
It was boss office, wasn't it? I think it's boss office.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, behind the boss's office. It was the third one.
Boom.
You picked it up, and then after that,
I feel like
you
the world's
had
going
3
to
of
implode.
them.
I've
I'm
got too
glad
many.
these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
I've got too many Stanlerines now. It's going
Let's
to
see,
make the world
what came
implode.
next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well,
No,
I
we
can't
didn't.
actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
I've got 10 out of 6. Everything's going wrong. It's because it isn't. You feel like your ass isn't clean all the
This
time
was the
because...
fifth mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in
See,
the
that's too far.
warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh, this is so Windows video editor. This so I have no words.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
What the hell was that noise? Oh. Oh, we got a new chat. Got a new chatter in the room. Dirty Trout. Hello, Dirty Trout. You dirty, dirty trout. Ah, God, I need to get wireless things. I'm just almost garroting myself every time I move.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This
We all
memory
just
is the
chatting
most
shit
distinct and
all the
clear in my
time.
mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it
do you know
was
what?
exactly like.
Oh, that's a shame. It keeps buffering. My internet's crap at the moment. Unfortunately, it will do that. You saw a tweet that said, "Don't play the Stanley Parable on Friday the 13th." Well, I mean, there could be some exclusive content. I don't know. It's all new to me. When I first started playing the game, the menu was
And then
weird.
there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
It's all unusual.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on.
This
Stop
game,
the
I swear to
loading
God.
Screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay, let's go back into the past.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff in this game that
And here's where I
it
made
could
that
all
video.
potentially
Don't you remember the video we watched?
be one. It could all potentially be new.
Yes, I love that video. Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
So I'm trying desperately to get that that achievement for getting 3 people
These
chatting
really
at
were a
once.
treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind
every
of
time I get
reward
close,
for finding all
somebody
of these,
leaves.
it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Oh, what's this way? I'm going this way now. Screw you guys. Oh, it's a dead end. He screwed me over, motherfucker. But yeah, we've got a dirty trout, we've got a harryman, and we had
This was our second figure.
something that
Don't
I
you
can't
remember?
pronounce because
Yes,
it's
I remember it too.
some sort of
the past is
amoeba or
truly a
something
wonderful thing.
in
Why does
chat all
anyone
at
ever
the same
choose
time.
to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines.
I've got 18 out of 6.
I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
This isn't... Something's wrong. Jump circle.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun
Give me more
the
jumps.
past is. I want more memories.
I want more jumps. Give me more jumps.
Oh, yes, the 2 doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this
The
one.
one door.
And before
back at the beginning.
everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else?
The computer's
Was
really
there something
loud.
that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember.
I was
can
born.
Remember. I can remember.
What's going on here?
Yes.
Am I going to have to crawl inside a vagina?
I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions.
Oh.
I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do
So
my thinking for
it
me.
absolutely boggles
He would
my
make
head
the
as well.
decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine
Every time
I
you
had
think you know,
companionship.
you
And
don't.
Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes,
I'm amazed we ended
I
up
can be
in
on my
Firewatch
own again. I
and
can
Rocket
do it.
League
I'll be stronger this time. I'll
whilst
take
playing
care
the
of myself.
Stanley Parable.
I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Stanley. Oh God, it's... Right, I'm
All
going
of
to try and
his
get out that window
co-workers
again,
were
but these
gone.
balloons were in the
What
way
did it
last time.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked,
Yeah, the balloons
he
are in the
couldn't
way.
find a trace of his co-workers.
I can't pop them. Oh, I did it. Yeah.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
It's
Okay,
very white.
I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question.
I feel like
What
I'm
do
in a
you think would have
Waitrose.
happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing
Is
what
he just going to
happens
talk
when you
forever?
pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Oh, the temptation to sit here forever and ever and ever now, though. I don't have the attention span. I'm going to have to begin the game again. I can't sit there forever. As funny as it would be.
Someone was
go back out the
following
window now.
Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
No, in this game, there's probably a line that prompts after like 30 minutes. I know for a fact. I obviously haven't done it myself, but you know the part when you have to play the baby game that's really, really, really annoying and loud. If you do actually play that game for 4 hours, as he says, there's another ending after that. But I'm not doing it because that is unbearable. It's yeah, not for me. Thanks. This I want to get back outside. Get me back outside.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, yes. I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons.
It is my
He
fault.
pushed them
I
like
chose
some
this.
kind
I
of
made every
glutton.
decision. I love it.
Did it all day in a meaningful
Hurt me, narrator.
way, but his brain
Spank me
had
with your
long
words.
ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible.
That's a bad rhyme.
And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Yes. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, that's off. More important. Yes. Do I take the reassurance bucket? Or do I just go along my merry way? I feel like it'd be fun. It'd be... Well, this is all different now, I swear.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was
Wrong
not the
again.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was subcavage. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm. No, Stanley
the
knew
bold lines.
it was something deeper. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Now.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
No
Look,
worries.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
Give me a
foot
follow
here.
if you care. If you
I'm
don't,
not
don't
your
worry about it.
enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay, through the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right
I'm
now.
going around in circles.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Avoid the void.
It calls.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Screw your happiness.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God you lived. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Eat floor.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Yep.
Am I reading the situation correctly?
Absolutely. Whee!
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. But you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
What's that? Never seen that before. Never seen any of it before. It's all new. Oh, it's multicolours.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish
I still thought that was possible.
Can I walk off the edge? No. Shame. Guess I'm gonna have to kill myself. He's walking so slowly because he's mad crippled. Whee!
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
You keep saying that.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better
The
than
bucket
the
is
meeting
never
room?
wrong.
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
I saw somebody selling these buckets. Literally a bucket, 2 buckets that were identical to this bucket on Facebook Marketplace the other day. And I had to comment and say
Truly,
that I felt
being
very,
here with the bucket
very
was a
reassured by their
grand
post.
adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
See, it's all different now because I've got the bucket. Oh, what's going on?
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
Is
No
this
matter
Stanley?
how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's
Buy my
unthinkable
bucket.
the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Gamburata. I'm gonna have to Google that now, in case it's a thing. Well, I misspelled it, so I'm never going to find out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Byron.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I need to know all the different things that can be done.
Stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
I don't know what a
Step in
bucket
here for a
is.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Motherfucker.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
That's a lucky guess.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
2 out of 3.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
This game I swear to God.
Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
This game's so stupid.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Where is it?
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course
Everything
is
is
not
a bucket.
true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Yes. You are
Stanley,
a
I
bucket.
can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No.
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait,
Because everything's a
was
bucket.
everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And
Yes,
you,
you
Stanley,
are.
you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
I am a
This is
bucket.
wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Yeah.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else,
All
maybe don't
buckets
mention
all
that.
the time.
Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
But everything's a bucket, so I don't need the bucket. I am bucket. Everything is bucket. We are bucket. Bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the
I think I'm getting
employee lounge
delirious.
was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I feel like I might be losing my
Said the
mind.
bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes.
I will do what the
Good,
bucket tells me
Said
to
the
do.
bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets
want to know
can't
what the
talk.
bucket wants.
But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
Everything is a
He
bucket.
was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Everything is a bucket, therefore speaking things can be buckets as well.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Looks a tad ominous.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
We're in the Matrix.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, I'm disappointed. Do something. I mean, it's not a bad apartment, to be fair. I wouldn't mind living here. It's slightly nicer than my place. Is that... No, it's not a bucket. Got excited then. Bucket! Take me with you to work? Yes.
The Stanley Parable reassurance bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Take me back home with you. Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the cows are pretty. With a bucket. Yeah, yeah.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
I love bucket. I am Jim. Love bucket.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it would ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Bucket love, bucket love. I love bucket, bucket love.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket.
Where's my bucket?
This stupid hunk of metal.
I love bucket. I am bucket. We are bucket. Bucket. Bucket, 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 bucket.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Bucket. Bucket.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
We love the bucket. We love the bucket.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket.
Bucket.
Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Bucket.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket.
Bucket.
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket?
Bucket.
Hear what the bucket has to say.
Bucket.
Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Love bucket.
Stanley, give me the bucket.
Bucket.
Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Bucket. Alright, I am...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I should probably stop playing this game because I'm getting feelings for a bucket.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Right, I'm going to end the stream. Cheers for everyone who came by. All the new people and the old people and the other people that are not buckets. It was emotional. We will play more, and I will find more things, and we will have more buckets, and it will be a bucket good time. Right? Okay. Bye, bucket.